Hello everyone and welcome to the 9th Sundance review that I have here on my channel. I have a playlist of all these reviews that I've been doing, and I have had a very fun time both watching these movies and talking about every single one of them. And today we're going to be talking about Karen Cinorre's directorial debut called Mayday, and this one has come to very mixed reviews out of Sundance, and I honestly don't understand the negative reviews of this film. I absolutely loved it. It is a very imaginative and innovative and very just grand movie that is told in such a low budget way that really works for me, and the story and the messages that it's trying to get across works so well for me, and I adored this film from beginning to end. Mayday follows Anna, played by Grace Van Patten, brilliantly by the way, as she is transported into a dreamlike world where a bunch of girls are fighting a never-ending war against these soldiers that pop up on this island. That kind of reminds me of Themyscira from Wonder Woman, but like I said, a much lower budget version of this. And first of all, I do want to talk about the look and style of this movie. It is that the cinematographer, I think, is Sam Levy, the husband of the director of this film, and he does a brilliant job at capturing the location that they used on this film. They went to, I forgot where they went to, but they went to a beautiful location, a beautiful island, these beautiful beaches with this turquoise waters, and they have amazing production design that they were able to pull off with such a limited budget. And this film, every frame of it was gorgeous. It is beautifully shot. The cinematography is definitely the one thing out of this movie that I just could not stop being in awe of. This was a beautifully shot movie, and like I said, the performances, especially from Grace Van Patten, was very good, along with Mia Goth, who was in weird movies like A Cure for Wellness and other roles like that. And the relationship between these two characters I thought was the strongest of the entire film. And it's a very interesting dynamic of Anna's character being more of a, I guess she's not as tough. She doesn't know these things. She doesn't know how to swim, and she's dropped into the ocean, so she struggles. And you have Mia Goth's character, who is a very strong and determined and powerful woman who is just really taking control. She's the leader of this group, this little army that they have on this beach, and she's a badass in this film. And that relationship of her teaching Anna how to really become a lot more strong as a person, mentally and physically, was a very interesting story to follow, because Anna's character arc in this film was excellent. The way that she started was completely different from where she was halfway through the film, which was completely different from where she ended up. Because with a character arc, you really want to take a character, put them through some hardships, and make them as far away from their original character that they could possibly be. And then by the end of the film, to finish this arc, they need to somehow get back to a middle ground between the two, a nice balance. And I thought they did that brilliantly with this character. And I gotta praise the director of this film for that, because she does a great job at capturing this world in an interesting way, and having the themes of this world and what everything represents, because this is a very metaphorical movie, and every little detail has a meaning towards it. These soldiers have a meaning. They really are women fighting misogyny. That's what this movie is truly about, and it is a very interesting way to portray this in this fantasy world that has a very real look, because they were all shot on location for the most part. And so it really does feel like a magical land where these characters can really be free and do these things and really grow as characters. There's a couple of side characters in this movie, the two friends. Their names are GERT and B, and these characters are not as strong, and I feel like the camaraderie between these four women could have been a lot stronger, mainly because these other two side characters don't get nearly as much screen time. And there's a point in the movie where you're really supposed to care about the camaraderie between Anna, GERT, and B, and I really just didn't feel it as strongly as I wanted it to, or as much as the movie wanted it to be. I could have easily used an extra like 10 minutes or maybe even 20 minutes of this film. It's an hour and 40 minutes long, and honestly, the way that it was paced and the way that it was plotted, it flew by. It really did. Has a very interesting setup. Like I said, the entire storyline, the second act on this island, and finding all these details and what they truly mean in the grand scheme of this character arc, and the way that the film ends, I thought was very strong. This was one of my favorite movies from Sundance. I'm just praising this movie. I don't really have too many negatives, besides the camaraderie between these four could have been much stronger. And watching the interview after the Sundance screening was very interesting, because the camaraderie between all the actors that were in the interviews, you really felt a connection between all of them. They were talking about how when they first got to set, when they first got to location, they just went to the beach and stripped down and jumped in the ocean and just had a blast. And apparently the whole crew was doing that as well. And just everybody, whenever the camera was not rolling, they were just having a fun time. And they also dealt with things like hurricanes and earthquakes and the pandemic and all these terrible things that happen on sets. But miraculously, they were able to pull off and accomplish the movie, which is just an inspiring thing, because this movie was extremely well made, and I have to give it credit for feeling a lot more grand than it really was because of the low budget. And that's why I'm absolutely loving this film. The way that the director was able to pull this thing off with the cinematographer and everything about this film, the performances, almost all of it worked for me. And I really don't understand the negative reviews for this movie. It really baffles me. It truly was one of my favorites of the entire festival. Definitely go check this movie out if it has a release date, either in theaters, which I wish I got to see this on the big screen, or on streaming somewhere. I really hope this movie gets picked up. I loved it. So thanks guys for watching my review for Mayday. If you guys had a chance to see it during Sundance, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this movie, especially why you thought it possibly could have not worked. Also the music. I didn't mention the musical score. It reminded me of that one scene in Arrival where they're it's the montage sequence in Arrival with the vocal kind of acoustic type of music. Really great music in this movie as well. So thanks guys for watching this review. Subscribe to the channel to see more of my Sundance reviews. I have one more left, and I'm very excited to wrap up my entire Sundance experience. So thanks for watching. Leave a like, comment down below, subscribe, and I hope to see you all in my next one.